America, hello to the world, and I'll tell you what, how about this? Hello to all you scumbags out there who are harming children. Oh, you know who you are, but you don't give a crap, do you? What am I talking about, folks? I'm talking about SHTF. It is that world. I'm here in the big green tank, and I'm making some tracks. The shit we're going to talk about is going to make your blood boil. If you have half of the decency that I hope that we all have, and I'm sure of us have, empathy, understanding, care for fellow men, for children, for the weakest amongst us. And that really is, folks, what culture is about. And it's carried on through our traditions. That is caring for those among us who are weak. Right? We're supposed to protect the women and children. That's how that works. Right? But what do we, right? We have the children of it, the children of our world, our country, our nations. It's hit the fan. How are they being treated? Right? Well, let's start at the very top. Poor old Joe Biden, President of the United States. Shouldn't we be caring about him because he is the geriatric? We're supposed to also care for our elderly and respect them, right? As well as women and children and the weak and the injured, the infirm. Well, what is Joe Biden doing, folks? He is not supposed to be weak and feeble. He is supposed to be the President of the United States. The strongest amongst us, the strongest, absolutely. And what is he doing? He is pushing the abuse none of us want, none of us like, and he's not just pushing it on us, he's pushing it on the children. What does that say? Well, he's saying, it's the message. The messaging is all wrong. My poll numbers are terrible because my message isn't getting out. Buddy, your message is getting out like you can't believe. Now, no one really cares to watch CNN, ABC, NBC, CBS, or even Fox News anymore. Right? But we don't have to watch the mainstream media to find out what Joe Biden's message is for the children of the world, because he has mayors, governors, school boards, and teachers going after the kids. We know exactly what his message is, and it is one of obey or we'll abuse you. Obey and you'll be neglected. Disobey. Disobey. I misspoke. Disobey, and you'll be abused, neglected, and punished. Do not disobey this doddering old man, right? No, that's not protecting, folks. Protecting Americans, and especially the weakest amongst us. And here's the deal. The elderly and women, they can, for the most part, take care of themselves. Plus, they have good old Smith & Wesson and Dr. Colt to administer the vaccinations at high speed, should they be needed. But children, folks, children don't know. Children don't understand. Children don't have the benefit of experience or development psychologically and physically to deal with those above them, in charge of them. And that is why, whether we're speaking biblically or legally, that is why children are to be protected and why God loves them so. So what am I talking about, folks? The children of SHTF. In Pennsylvania, yet again, a teacher has been filmed or photographed, if you will, abusing a child. Now, I am going to submit that this is not rare, but this is an instance where someone in the classroom pulled out a camera and got a picture of this incident. In this apparently small little school, the teacher decided that she would tape a mask to a child's face. Now, that sounds not so bad, right? It sounds like not such a big deal. But is it? Right? Once again, what does a mask do? It covers one's facial expressions, the mouth, whether a person is smiling or grimacing, whether a person is happy with them or sad. It tells us yes or no, and it doesn't take a voice, right? A kind word. It takes a combination, folks, of a smile on the lips and the shape of the eye to see whether someone is satisfied with us. If someone is grimacing and giving a smile, we know that that's not a happy smile. That is a sardonic smile, a cynical smile, and it's not one that comes and is born of love. Children need love. So when they're being abused, that's an entirely different thing, right? It's showing them that they're not loved. Now, there's a difference between discipline, I understand, discipline and love. There's a big difference, right? Both are needed, but there's also a huge difference between discipline and abuse. They're not the same thing. But to these people out here, folks, these dyed-in-the-wool, order-taking, goose-stepping, tying their shoes and little Nazis, these people don't care. They believe that in order to get their way, they've got to abuse mentally those that they can change. They have, as far as I've been concerned, abusing children for decades with propaganda, by brainwashing them, indoctrinating them with socialist and Marxist ideas, and corrupting their minds with immoral thoughts about whether or not they can decide what gender they are and how they have to treat others that are very, very, very odd. One more example, and then we're going to get down to where this is leading. Folks, in Los Angeles, there's a school there, and the unjuicinated children, folks, children, the unjuicinated children were forced outside. They asked for chairs. They were denied. They were forced to sit on the curb. Yeah, they're kids. They're made out of rubber and stuff. I get that. That's not the point. That's not the purpose. They're being segregated. They're being treated poorly. They were denied the use of restroom facilities. Now, where does that make a lick of sense? It doesn't. It doesn't make a lick of sense. There's no way that this can be anything but psychological battery to treat someone differently to the extent that you're denying them the same facilities others have, including using the restroom. It's abuse, folks. And oh, by the way, legal firms are already looking into sue on both cases that I just mentioned. Now, what does this have to do with SHTF? Well, this wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for SHTF and all of this hysteria. And the hysteria is completely fabricated with one purpose, folks. Well, several purposes, like, I don't know, genocide, population control. But it is, none of those things can happen ever. Population control, genocide, euthanasia, none of these things can happen without a government that is overly empowered. It is absolutely disgusting what is being done. The government needs immense amounts of power to do what they're doing, and they have now claimed it. That's right. They claim this power because of the magic of cerveza bug, the invisible thing that can be stopped, right, with a piece of toilet paper on your face. It can apparently chew through walls to get to you. Unbelievable. Well, this is what they've got. They've assumed the power. They've assumed the authority because of cerveza bug. And they've shut down the world. They've caused shit to hit the fan. And they want to dominate us, control us, tell us how we have to live. Imagine that, folks. A free people being forced to put something in their body that doesn't do what it's claimed and supposed to do. And then after that, forced again and told you have to get additional. What? This is where we're at. What a country, what a nation, what a people do to and with their children is indicative and telling of an overall goal. People say, John, there's no genocide planned. There's no population control. They're not trying to kill anyone. No. That's silly. That's absurd. That's a conspiracy theory. You know, we're not really trying to hurt the children. We're trying to do what's best for them. You know, society's rules. Well, society's rules don't give them a right to do what they're doing. They're using government authority, folks, government power. That is what they are doing. That is what they're using. And they don't care what it does to children, the same way they haven't cared what teaching them Marxist crap has done to them. This is about control and power. And you can see how a government abuses its people when you see what it does to their children. Let me call you back. Let's get in the Wayback Machine. Go back to Nazi Germany. He had something called the Hitler Youth, folks. And he encouraged children to snitch, to tattletale on their parents. Because the government, the Nazi government, competed with parents for the concern, for the care, for the respect of children. And they rewarded and doted children, and they also, what do you think? Punished children. That's right. They made children feel bad or awkward if they didn't love the Fuhrer. Right? It is a terrible system of abuse, folks, to get someone to do what you want by abusing them, by punishing them, by shaming them, by using guilt. These are all tools of psychology, folks, and not good psychology. It is evil psychology that uses guilt and shame, pressure, and lies. And that is what they have, folks. Guilt, shame, pressure, lies, and punishment. And they're not going to give up. They're not going to quit. They're not going to stop. They're not going to say, oh, geez, we didn't realize we were doing that. But they are, folks. They do know what they're doing. They just don't realize the damage to the extent that's being done. But they don't care. Their agenda is supreme. Their agenda is most important. Protect your children, for God's sake, America. And I'm not talking to you guys here. You guys here on Patreon and YouTube, you know what the hell's going on. But share this message with others. Share it, share it, share it. I don't think a lot of people really consider this. We're freaking busy. I get it. Totally busy. But once you start thinking about abuse and what it does to children's lives, right? Look at what neglect does to kids. But abuse, folks, all of these things are terrible. Right? Let children learn by encouraging, not forcing them, encouraging them to do good things. And then they see the rewards. And you can say, how does that feel to do something good for little Jimmy or little Sally? Feels nice, huh? Good job. Right? Positive encouragement, not do this or else. Well, I can't give lessons on how to raise children or educate children here. You know, and nobody's perfect, I get it. But taping a mask to someone's head, punishing people by telling them sit outside on the curb and no going to the bathroom. And if you think this is as far as these people are gonna go or would go, the only reason they haven't gone further, folks, is because they're not allowed. They don't have the authority yet. Yet. It is coming. They will get a lot worse, folks. Protect your children. Parents need to stand up. Parents need to take action. Are you prepared, folks, mentally for what is going to be required to protect yourself, your loved ones, and the children, as well as, right, the weak, the incapable? This is going to be about all of us, folks. They're coming for all of us. It's not just the patriots they're coming for. It's not just the parents that are the domestic terrorists. The government is picking and choosing, dividing and conquering. And yeah, the children are even in a class all their own. to be denied their rights, to be abused for the purpose of increasing the power of government now and in the future. This is a long-term SHTF struggle we are in. It's a battle. It's psychological. It's communications. Everything is on the line, folks. Everything. Get prepared now.